Today, let's walk through some new sewing patterns for you to try. Welcome, I do sewing and DIY related content, and today is another video about free sewing patterns for you to try this month. So I have gone through, I've created this Pinterest board, as you can see, called 2024 Sewing Patterns. And there is another video that I will be sure to link for patterns I found from January. But this is a new month, it's February, and we're moving on to the February patterns. And some of these patterns I have actually tried out this month, and some of the ones I'm still working on. So I will be sure to include little tips or things that I came across when I was trying them out. Others of these are just items that I think would be really great for the upcoming spring and for March that is coming up as well. So we are going to start off with clothing. So the first is this Tianas closet shirt. So this is a balloon sleeve crop top. It is a completely free PDF sewing pattern. So I am not always the biggest fan of crop tops, but I think that this would be a really fun shirt to do a pattern hack with to make it into a dress. So the way you get to this pattern, you click this visit button and this will load the website for you. So again, this is a completely free PDF sewing pattern. It comes in sizes extra, extra small to 5XL, 2 different paper formats with the instructions included. I have made a dress from this company before, and the Tianas closet pattern was actually really easy to understand. The free pattern instructions are very basic, so there aren't too many details included, but it is enough to get you started and to go through it. The one item that I will say is that when you are printing it out, this is a layered PDF pattern. So let's go to the bottom. As you can see, they have how the pattern pieces will all lay out with what you would need. But when you go to the bottom here, you can see that you have it in the A4 letter paper or A0 letter paper. All you would have to do is you just click the link and the printing instructions will all be here. As you can see, she talks about how it's a layered PDF, which means that when you look at this, all of the sizes are layered on top of each other, so it can be a little confusing if you were just to print this out. So what you're going to want to do is use some sort of PDF reader. I found that Adobe Reader worked really well on my Mac and it was free, and then that she does have options that work well with Windows as well. And you can then click which layer on and off that you would want, and the layer relates to your sizing. So it is pretty simple and straightforward to do. Just make sure you're definitely printing out the test square. It's the correct inches or centimeters everyone you use, and then that will make sure that your pattern pieces are the right size as well. So next we will move on to these easy boxer shorts. So I am in the process of making these now. It seems pretty straightforward. In the comments, there were some people saying that they turned out a little bigger than they expected. I have not noticed that, as I like my boxer shorts to be bigger anyways, but I'm really excited about making these just as fun loungewear. So if you want to open this link, you can click the little read it button, and it includes a free pattern. You can download their free pattern. So all you have to do is click that link, and then it shows you the different pattern diagram, the piecing, and everything that you will need. So it's incredibly straightforward. Again, no email is required. So as you scroll down, it talks about what you will need, what type of fabric you'll need, the pattern, pins, sewing needle, everything's listed here, and then how to put the pattern pieces together. So again, pretty straightforward. It shows you how to make them. The one item I will note is about finishing the seams. They really try to encourage you to get a serger, at least from my perspective. I don't think you need that though. There's so many different ways that you can finish off your seam using a zigzag stitch, pinking shears, an overcast stitch on your sewing machine. So I would just really take that into account, that if you're reading this and you feel that you needed the serger, you definitely don't. So now we are going to move on to little bags. I had the opportunity to make lots of little bags this month for different gifts for people. And the first we'll talk about is this DIY quilted zipper pouch. So I'm really excited about this pouch. I made it actually for a birthday gift for a relative and they loved it. It was very easy to put together. So some people were talking about how the corners were a little difficult to put together. I didn't find it too difficult, but if you are a beginner, you may just want a little bit more sewing background. There are so many different boxy bag patterns out there, but this one worked really well for me. I also liked it as you were able to quilt the fabric however you would like. So I'm going to click this read it button, and she has really great photos that show step by step how to do it, as well as how to quilt your own fabric. I'm going to be having a video coming up soon that shows how I quilted my own fabric, as well as how I turned this into more of a patchwork design, which turned out really, really fun. And then on the edges, she did serge it, but talks about how you could do an overlock or zigzag stitch as well. So again, you do not need a serger. Now for this pattern, she does give you information on how to add the zipper. I saw some people said though that they were struggling with how to add it. I didn't find it too difficult. This definitely is not like a full zipper tutorial, but it does give you enough information to get you started. And if you already know how to add a zipper, then this will just be very easy and you're able to kind of breeze right through it. Overall, I love this pattern though, and I'm so excited I got to make it. The pictures are really straightforward and it's a great way to make a little boxy pouch. Then the next bag we have is this cute little gift bag. So I followed these steps. I will say that all of the instructions for this were in centimeters, so if you're someone who follows in inches, you will have to convert it. But this gave a really cute, simple gift bag. I used cotton. So one item I will say is that she wanted you to use a thick hair elastic for the elastic portion that would go over the button. I found this to be hard to use. I would say to probably use a thinner elastic so you could get elastic cording, but if you use it too thick, it's going to be really hard to sew through. So just take that into account when you're trying to figure out what type of elastic you would want to use for the bag. I did include on hers that I also did not include was she used 4 rivets to put on the edges to just kind of keep it in place. I did not use this and the bag still turned out really cute. I'll actually include some pictures of that so that you can see. But again, as you can see in the pictures, she's using centimeters, so you would just need to translate that if you use inches. But otherwise, everything was pretty straightforward. This was a very, very easy bag to put together. And then if you wanted to use those rivets on the edges to kind of hold it together, you definitely could. I just felt that they weren't necessarily needed since they worked pretty well without it, but it's always definitely something you could add. These would be great gift bags though to use really for any holidays with Easter coming up. Just a really cute little bag. So last, that brings us to kind of this 2 little fun accessories and home good items. Since it is February, St. Patrick's Day will be coming up next month, so if you're trying to get a head start on your St. Patrick's Day crafts, I found this really fun pin with different sewing projects. And when you go to it, you can see like they've made little bags, there's some quilting, and then there's also like a wreath. So if we go to the read it button, she specifically talks about this cute little lucky quilt that she made. So this was actually an applique that she's pinking shears on and then sewed it onto the fabric. So it looks really simple. I definitely think you could make this very quickly and it would be a very fun little St. Patrick's Day item for you to have. I do like how it has that rough edge look to it as it gives it just a little more character. And then you could decide if you wanted to keep the #lucky portion or not as just like a fun little detail. But this looks like a very simple project that you'd be able to do on a nice weekend. Then last but not least, there is this adorable cat quilt block. I think it looks so fun. I really do want to try this. Maybe making different colors, different types of cats. You could make this just this block itself, or you could use it for, you know, like a bigger quilt. It talks about everything that you would need though. So your cotton fabric, your ruler, rotary cutter, thread, and a sewing machine. It looks like it's very simple and straightforward to put together. And then it talks about different square blocks that you could make as well to really add to it. But I think that the little peeping cats are so cute, especially adding the buttons for their eyes. And then they just did some embroidery for the whiskers. So it looks really fun. I think could be a great pillowcase for your house, especially if you're someone who loves cats. I hope you enjoyed these patterns for this month. Let me know if you've tried any of these. If you did, what did you think? Let me know also what type of patterns you want me to look for next month, and I will be sure to get on that. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next.